There's one. That's a pretty good fish. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alan. This is Cast a Life. Today's video, I want to talk about a couple of tips on fall transition buzzbait fishing. Now, most of you know that the fall transition is well underway in most parts of the country right now. As soon as those water temperatures begin to drop, the bass start to move. The bait fish start to move. And this is a great time of year to catch them on topwater in general, but a buzzbait is one of my favorite ways to catch bass. So just a couple of tips when it comes to the buzzbait. The first thing is, when I'm throwing a buzzbait, I'm not necessarily targeting shad or herring or other bait fish. Sometimes it's best to switch over and try to target the bass that are feeding on brim. This time of year, you'll notice that brim do move up in the shallows. That would be bluegill and other sunfish. They get in these groups and they suspend just below the surface around hard cover like wood or rock, and also in behind docks. So when they do that, one of the best ways to imitate them is with a small buzzbait. First tip I have is I'm going to change up the color just a little bit. Okay, instead of white or black or the type of buzzbait that most people throw, I'm going to be throwing something with some blue and some chartreuse, maybe some orange in it, something that kind of mimics the bluegill and the brim. So that's the first tip. The second thing is, most of the time I'm going to be in the back of a pocket. I'm going to be up in a creek. I'm going to be somewhere protected from the wind. With those calmer conditions, I'm going to want to downsize this lure just a little bit. I don't want it to make quite the commotion that a big half-ounce buzzbait makes coming through the water, okay? These fish are going to be aggressive, but I don't like to make too much of a commotion with this thing, because what I'm mimicking is the brim and not necessarily big giant schools of bait fish, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is the color. The second thing is I'm going to downsize. This is a 1/4 ounce model, just a single little plopper blade there, and that is the second thing. So the third thing is going to be wear. When I go, I've kind of mentioned already that I go into the backs of creeks and into the backs of pockets. I've also mentioned that I target wood and rock cover. But one of the things is, this bait is going to draw from pretty far away. So I'm going to kind of fan cast around, all around the cover. I'm not going to just target the cover itself. I'm also going to target, to the right of it, to the left of it. I'm going to throw in behind the dock. I'm going to throw in under the walkway of the dock. All those areas where the brim congregate, I'm going to be running my buzzbait right through there, okay? And when you do that, you're going to pull fish from pretty far away with a buzzbait. So I had a fish blow up on me when I was filming this right at the boat. Man, it was super exciting. Unfortunately, my GoPro camera was not working at the time. I think I just let the battery run down, honestly. But anyway, it was not recording at the time. If you would, leave me a comment down below. Tell me about a time where, a big fish blew up on you at the boat. Those are some exciting strikes there. I'd like to hear your stories. Another key aspect to the technique is the gear I'm throwing it on. The downsize technique kind of requires a little bit lighter tackle. I do throw it on a spinning rod. It also allows for a much longer cast. And on my spinning rod, I've got it spooled with 10-pound braided line. And I use the straight braid on this technique. I don't tie a leader. One of the reasons for that, of course, is because braided line floats, and it helps keep that buzzbait riding high on top of the water much easier, and it gets it going a lot quicker when it hits the water. Spinning rod, usually a 7'2" medium action spinning rod, and 10-pound braided line, straight braid. So those are just a few tips on buzzbait fishing and targeting brim feeders in the fall with your buzzbait. I hope this was helpful. I am going to put a couple of videos on the out screen I'd like for you to follow. They're my last couple of videos. If you've not seen those, they deal with fall transition and some other ways to catch fish in the fall. So if you enjoyed this video, please check those out and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.